clawing our way out of our graves to bring you your weekly dose of chaos and darkness. I'm Rexy.
And I'm Lillie. And this is the Morning Report. Utter chaos. I just need...
He's my boss.
Okay.
I've met them. Wait. There you go. I've met them before. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, the two of us is not good.
Once again, I've met them before.
So, we were laughing about, I told Lily, I was like, Mark might be a little bit late. He didn't give him much notice.
That's okay. I am good. I am here.
And so she's laughing about it like, hi, you want to do this thing? It'll be really fun. Yeah, sure. Okay, great. See you in 10 minutes. That is almost what happened.
Well, and I told my wife I was doing it. She said, oh, great, have fun. And I said, oh, great. Wait. The computer I used is at the Apple Store this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, it's okay. But I was like, wait, oh, crap. Okay. I got it. Yeah. Of course.
While we're talking too, I was sending him the picture. I was like, hey, can you use this as your background? He's like, oh, you mean it's going to be video? Because I didn't tell him. He's like, that's important information.
Well, because the last meeting we had was audio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He joined us on a call for...
I was thinking if we're on the phone, I could just, like, hold that behind my... Why does that matter? That's great.
Yeah, that's how it goes here.
Yeah. It's good to know Rex is the same person everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep. Hi, Mourners.
Hi.
Hi, Lily.
Hi, darling.
So we are back with, I guess you guys have noticed, there's a third voice if you're listening. There's a third face if you're watching. We roped my boss and one of our supporters for a really long time now, Mark Collier, into recording with us today.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
It's the opposite direction you think it should be.
Why is it so hard? There.
Because you're you. That's why this is so hard.
And what else is cool is we haven't done a Lily's Lake Monster story in fucking months. And we are back with a big one. And whoever's been listening to this series for the last year probably noticed a glaring hole. And that's Nessie! So now we're going to tell you about Nessie. Well, Lily's going to tell you about Nessie while Mark and I interrupt her.
Awesome. That's my favorite. All right. So, Nessie lives in Loch Ness. The end. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's our episode.
Disagreed.
Bye!
This has been annoying.
So, Loch Ness is huge. It is 889 feet deep, which means you could stack the two tallest Great Egyptian pyramids, each around 450 feet tall, in the lake, and barely 10 feet of pyramid would stick out.
Wow.
I gotta sit over here. I don't want to be part of this.
She's the monster. Her chair is...
Okay.
Where is it? Where's Loch Ness? For anybody who doesn't know. Where is it?
Scotland.
Oh, is it
I thought I said that. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't... Mark. I probably wasn't here.
You were distracted by your Nessie stuffy.
So I gotta say, I grew up in Michigan, where we have lots of lakes, and I don't know how that compares to the lakes around Michigan. I actually don't know. You said 800 feet deep?
889.
89. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to leave off the 89.
That's
It's
important.
important. It's like that half. If you're 5'2" and a half, that half's important.
Yes.
What part of now we're just going to get completely off the trail of thought here. But what part of Michigan?
Flint. I grew up in Flint.
My husband's from Flint.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He is?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So when we'll just keep on going.
Yeah, we're just gonna stay. This is our new train of thought now.
Yeah. So I don't even know where you live now.
We're in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay. How long? And so how long has he been gone from Michigan?
He moved to South Carolina with his mother when he was 13, and he is 40.
I was just saying he is 18 now.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No. He's 40. So
Oh,
it's
cool.
been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's still got a bunch of family that live up there.
Well, most of us who are from Flint, we don't
Yeah.
talk about it a whole lot. It's been better in the past than it is now, but
Yes. My
I still-
father-in-law still lives there, and my husband was actually born in Oscoda.
okay, yeah.
What's that?
It's an old military base in Michigan.
Where is it?
Oh, I don't know what this is. This is just Michigan.
Yeah.
I thought we were doing like.
I thought you were raising your hand.
I'm sorry. I have family in Michigan too, and anytime I ask somebody where it is, they are like, they bring their hand up and they point at their hand. So I thought it was a normal thing. Shut up.
It is, but
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
We just didn't know.
So I looked up the depth of the Great Lakes because I wanted to know, and the
Good.
average.
Daryl
average
and
depth-
Leo are in the process of doing this.
Yep, there. Oh, there. I see it now. Yeah,
Everybody's curious.
yeah. So right. So actually, that's not all that different. So Lake
No.
Michigan is 925 at its
Okay.
deepest point, and you said 880 something.
889.
Right. Thank you.
889 for and what 1335 for Superior.
Yeah.
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 Superior's deep.
Yes. All right. Sorry. Back
Like
to the
Erie's
story.
only 210 though.
Yeah, relatively
Erie's
speaking, that's
tiny.
not deep at all. Yeah.
Hey, didn't we have didn't we have a monster from one of the Great Lakes? Didn't we have a lake monster from one of them?
Girl. Yeah, Bessie.
Bessie from
Lake Erie.
Lake Erie. Yeah. Wow, wait a minute. So she lives in the shallowest lake?
You know, you're gonna make me go back. Yeah, because Erie is at max 210 feet. It's the
She
shallowest.
lives in the little one?
The little one.
Well, okay, little being relative though. I mean, it's not like 210 is like shallow. I mean, even I can't stand up in that. As tall as I am.
If Mark stood up right now, he'd be taller than Nessie.
Yes. You know, I could just stand for the rest of the podcast. Hi. I'm even tall online.
I'm even tall online.
And then, of course, then Rex should be like.
Be off the screen at the bottom.
I'm just sorry.
She wants to go outside and play hopscotch.
I play a mean game. Oh my god, Leah was in the garage the other day. So I think it was a movie night, maybe. I don't know. He was over for some reason. We're standing in the garage. We are smoking. And he hands me back my device. I like turned into an old LA film noir detective for a minute. And I took a breath, right? So I had some smoke and I was like, play a mean game of hopscotch. And I just got the box of chocolate.
Wow.
And we both died for like 20 minutes. Yes, I was very proud of that one.
Okay.
So, Nessie.
What's the
Nessie.
topic again? Yeah, I have no idea. We have lost it.
It's Nessie and Loch Ness.
Scratchy.
We're getting there, and this thing.
Lily's the monster.
I don't know how my hand works right now.
This thing.
Yay! Good. Oh, you know what? Okay.
Look,
So-
we're all gonna be really good at this by the time the episode.
So Loch Ness has 263 billion cubic feet, or nearly 2 trillion gallons of water, making it the lake with the most water in the UK and holding more water than all the lakes and rivers in England and Wales combined.
Damn. Okay.
Scotland has something like 30,000 lakes just in its own little area.
Okay, but wait a minute, because like compared to what we have here, what does that mean? Like,
Well, Minnesota is basically the state with a ton of lakes, and it's got about 12,000 lakes.
Yeah.
And you said how many?
30,000 in Scotland.
30,000. So that's a lot.
Okay.
So there.
Yeah.
If Loch Ness was empty, you could fit every single person in the world inside of it.
Wow.
That's some scale.
That is some scale. It's so warm and deep that it never freezes. The water is always murky and dark because of all the peat in the lake. And that'll go back and, make bog bodies later. Just
Okay.
And the surrounding area is more often than not foggy and rainy. So that's always a good recipe for something to be lurking in the shadows.
It's like perfect atmosphere for them.
So the name for the lake may have come from the Picts, who were one of a few tribes living in the Scottish Highlands, along with the Scotty. Fun fact, the Scotty people were actually from Northern Ireland, but moved over to what we know as Scotland in 400. So,
Nod my head. And
yeah, you're just like, yeah, that makes sense. I got it.
Okay.
The name Ness might have come from a river goddess of the Picts named Nessa. And then the city of Iverness is on the river Ness that flows out of the northern end of the loch. Ness, 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 Ness.
Or it's like some inspiration. For the rest.
You're too sweet to be salty.
So does it? You probably have more information. Does it talk about whether it's a cold lake? Is it really cold?
No, it's warm.
Warm. Okay.
It's so warm and so deep that it never freezes.
Oh, I didn't hear the warm part. I heard the depth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's warm, it's murky, it's shadowy, it's foggy,
It's rainy. Yeah, it's awesome.
super deep.
In the 13th century, next to the lake, somebody built a church and a graveyard. In the 1600s, it's said that a mischievous local wizard once raised the dead in the graveyard, and the church minister had to put all the reanimated corpses back in their graves.
What a job! What a job! That's great.
I think I just wrote a whole Nessie fan fiction in my head, or at least I got the bones. So these guys, right, like this wizard and this preacher were like besties, right? But they're besties in that I'm gonna fuck with you for the rest of your life kind of besties. And we're like, the wizard's like, I have this power, and the preacher's like, well, I have this power, so... Right? So, like, it's the equivalent of going around and sniffing, like, 100 plastic forks in your brother's yard.
Yeah. Or a bunch of pink flamingos.
Or dead people.
Or dead people, yeah. Listen, if I can find, like, 100 dead people and just stick them in my bestie's yard, Lily, I'm so sorry. Right? With
Like plastic forks. Like they're just stuck in the ground.
Yeah, if I had that power.
But the thing is, you gotta time it right, because if they sit out in the front too long, somebody will take them and sell them on Facebook.
You're right! Oh my god, in boxes! Oh my god, in boxes and 3-gallon buckets.
And
One of our previous
Rex meltdown.
episodes, he was caught doing this. Like, recently. It bothers me.
At least they were dead first. That's always a good sign.
It would be hard to believe that anybody would have managed to live through being divided into several 3-gallon buckets. I don't think so.
Oh, Lord. Alright.
Oh, back to Nessie, away from the body.
I don't know if we're gonna get there all that much, but... So, a house was built on the church grounds after the church caught fire while they were having church and killed everyone inside. In 1899...
Was that before? Were those the bodies that were animated later? Or no, before?
This was after. This was after the
sorry, my bad. Carry on. Okay.
So, in 1899, the wickedest man in the world, Aleister Crowley, bought the house from the clan Fraser to practice the sacred magic of Abramelin Abramman the Mage. Crowley was infamous for practicing black magic and various rituals. It's said that Crowley
as what he was
the
for being free.
It said that Crowley never banished the demons he let loose on the house, and lots of strange and tragic things happened there.
I had no idea that he had any ties to
Loch Ness.
Yeah, not a clue.
He was the head of the HOA there.
Oh my god, I just want like campaign poster shirts that say like
Alistair Crowley for HOA.
Please write that on our merch.
It's on the merch list.
Yay!
They got Nessie leash laws in the HOA there. Keep
Nessie with
Nessie in the leash. That's great.
So, 1970, Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin also owned this house because he was really into Aleister Crowley.
Okay.
So as Iverness has become famous for time traveling, standing stones. Okay. So Iverness has become famous for time traveling, standing stones in the Outlander books and shows. The Picts of that area left behind a way to see the past with their own standing stones. Known as the Pictish stones, they were engraved with inscriptions, symbols, and animals. Lots of beasts, snakes, fish, wolves, birds, and stags have been found carved into these stones. But no other animal was depicted more often than what is simply known as the Pictish beast. It is an animal with a thin snout like a dolphin, but longer, a fin or a mane running down the back of its neck from the top of the head, and arms and legs that could be tentacles or flippers.
It's Nessie! She's a dinosaur! She's been around so long, she's just a trapped dinosaur. They're all trapped dinosaurs.
They're all trapped dinosaurs. So some think the Pictish beast might be a mythological animal called a Kelpie, that as some as you may know is a shape-shifting underwater horse of Scottish lore that drags unsuspecting people to their watery deaths. Or
they
maybe
are assholes. I refuse to believe that Nessie is a Kelpie. Kelpies are dicks, and I want Nessie to be. I'm gonna run with Nessie is not a Kelpie.
So maybe the Picts knew of a different mythic beast that haunts the depths of Loch Ness?
Yeah, dinosaur. I think, that would explain too why we've seen Nessie be represented so much throughout history. And not just Nessie, but like all of the other lake monsters. Like why we've seen them in so many different places and so many different time periods. They're stuck dinosaurs. They're dinosaurs that are still living in the ocean. Like we know so little. We know more about our universe than we know about our ocean.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100% there's dinosaurs still living. And they just live so long, right? So people keep seeing glimpses.
I mean, dinosaurs don't live that long. They get tired.
Well, not these. These didn't get tired because they were in the ocean.
So now we're gonna look into like a timeline of Nessie to figure out like her start and then we're gonna just figure out where she pops up in history.
Okay.
So 500.
Do
I have a map of this?
Leo, did
Leo put a map
come
of
across
this?
a map for this?
Probably not.
Leo, I didn't even know we wanted one.
Leo should just think ahead.
He should. He really should be better at this job.
He says, hell no, what for? Alright, so the first recorded sightings of the Loch Ness Monster were in 565 CE.
I don't know what happened.
I don't either. Common Era, which is the same as AD and represents the time from year 1 and onward.
Okay.
An Irish monk named Columba and his followers lived amongst the aforementioned Picts. One day, Columba saw a dead man being retrieved from the River Ness that flows out of the loch. The man had been attacked by a water beast. The monk sent one of his followers out as bait to lure the monster out from hiding.
What the fuck?
I was waiting for that.
What a dick. You haven't made it to as high a position as me, so go be dinosaur bait.
They were Jurassic Park before it was Jurassic Park. According to Columba's biography, the lake serpent sure enough rose out of the water to attack the follower. The monk made the sign of the cross towards it and screamed, "The power of Christ compels you. Go no further." And the monster stopped dead in its tracks as if it had been pulled back by ropes, then swam away.
I don't think that works on dinosaurs.
I don't think.
I mean, I guess it did.
It had to have. So there have been dozens of sightings from 15.
You ban it.
I don't want to be
your head like floating on your corner.
I'm trying so hard not to be a Nessie mermaid. But if I go too far this way, I just disappear.
Right there is good. Right there is good.
I'm not gonna move. So from 1520 until the 1900s, there have been dozens of sightings, but the first modern sightings were in 1933. If you want a complete list of sightings plus a bunch of other cool things about Nessie, LochNessSightings.com is an awesome website to check out. So
LochNessSightings.com.
There they go. Doing magic. Rexy magic. Oh, it's slow. There we go, right there.
There we go.
Nope, that way. Way down there. Past
Way down
Mark.
there. You can go there to find out more stuff about.
See, that's not fair. Mark has it down. You and I are like, I don't know which way.
I know,
He's
we're
just
like,
it's
is
that
it
way.
that way?
I've done this a few times. Yeah.
So
It's always opposite where you think it is.
I don't know where I think it is. So no, see?
We're like the worst Brady Bunch ever.
Everybody look to the middle.
Yep.
Oh shit!
I gotta. Nope, this way. There we go.
Did we do it?
You did it.
I did it?
You did it. We're talking about Nessie. I'm getting there. Now we're gonna go from 565 to March 1933. King Kong premieres. So that was March. No. So in March 1933, King Kong premieres, and a giant sea serpent is featured in the movie. Some think the seed for the lore around the Loch Ness Monster was planted by King Kong.
Okay.
July 1933.
Where did it come from before King Kong? Like, somebody saw it written on
Somebody
the
saw it.
cave wall or something, right?
Yeah, the Pictish stones.
Pictish stones, right? That's right.
So
Pretty sure those are older.
those are really older than King Kong. Those are like a lot older than King Kong. So July 1933, George Spicer and his wife saw a dragon-like beast with a huge body, no limbs, and a long neck crossing the road, running along the loch. Were they crossing the road? I think they were crossing the road.
Not the monster.
Well, the monster had no limbs, so I hope it wasn't crossing the road.
Man, that was a poorly written sentence.
No, Leo says no, the monster was.
Leo, the monster.
Mark just burned you, Leo. Even the guess.
Oh, dude. Okay, so no, he says the monster was crossing the road.
They were driving.
They were
The
driving.
monster wasn't driving.
I guess if I had finished that sentence, it would have said right in front of their car.
Ah.
And then
No.
it disappeared into the water. You know,
Never mind. That was on Lily.
how do I get past that, though? So this sighting was reported in Scottish newspapers, and that started an investigation. November 1933, Hugh Gray takes the first big claim to be the Loch Ness Monster.
Dick Tracy's on the case. He's got Dick Tracy like with a magnifying glass on this investigation.
And then, but some think that this first picture was just a dog swimming with a stick in its mouth. You know, whatever. Jump ahead one more month. In December 1933, a British newspaper commissioned a man named Marmaduke Weatherall.
Wow.
That's a hell of a name.
Man, that's a name.
Why do you do that to your kid? This is my son, Marmaduke.
Marmaduke Weatherall?
Yeah.
What do you, I guess Duke for short? Marm is kind of a weird short.
Marma.
Marma.
Sorry.
Okay. But Marmaduke Weatherall was a big game hunter. And he was hired by the newspaper to find Nessie. On the lake shores, he found large footprints that he thought belonged to a very powerful, soft-footed animal about 20 feet long. The British Natural History Museum found out that they were a hoax, as they were actually hippopotamus footprints made using a hippopotamus foot ashtray.
An ashtray? There's a lot of things that you just said in that sentence. Somebody got it.
Hold on.
Hold on. Off a hippopotamus.
No, hold on. Let me finish one sentence before we go down that path. The newspaper then went and made fun of Weatherall for getting pumped.
So back up again. You said that there was footprints that you said, I don't know if you said resembled or whatever, resembled a powerful but soft-footed?
Yes.
I mean, the soft-footed you can figure out maybe, but how'd you know it wasn't just fat? I mean, how do you know it's powerful?
Right?
And next thing you say, you know, the footprints made it look like it was pretty attractive. And you know, and it had a soft voice from the footprints. Yeah. It's very soft-spoken, but it had big feet.
But I have a couple questions though. Is this an ashtray made out of an actual hippopotamus foot?
Right? That's what I took it to mean. Somebody chopped off a hippo foot, made it into an ashtray.
I mean, I gotta say,
Somebody
okay,
took the ashtray and went around and made feet.
maybe I'm out of touch from a lot of things, okay? But I think a hippo's footprint looks about like a circle.
Yeah.
And what do you suppose an ashtray looks like? A circle.
A circle.
So isn't every ashtray in the world a hippopotamus foot? I mean, it's a circle.
But I do love that the newspaper was like, "Did you guys really see this idiot?"
Oh my
over
god,
here?"
no, it's a real hippo foot. Leo put it in the chat. Hold on.
Jesus.
Mark's gonna send it over to you on Messenger.
Oh, I can't wait.
It is. It's not a circle. It has feet and toes.
It has feet. Wait, it's footprint has feet? Oh, that's true.
It has toes.
The hippo foot has feet.
Ah.
Ah, that's
Well, that makes it all
okay.
real. I can now tell that it's powerful.
It is powerful.
Yeah. My bad.
I'm having a little trouble telling what the voice is.
Of course, I have to say, if it was actually that one, well,
It is a circle.
underneath that is a circle.
Right? So if they just
Some
took
idiot-
that and
Some idiot back then just grabbed this thing and just walked around with it.
and then some idiot thought that was a very powerful, soft-footed,
Yeah.
Soft-footed
Soft-spoken.
creature.
Soft-spoken, but yeah.
20-foot long.
Powerful hippopotamus animal with a stick in its mouth. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was a dog with a
Oh,
stick in its mouth.
Yeah.
All right, so just to keep this train moving, January of 1934, a veterinary student named Arthur Grant almost ran into Nessie on his motorcycle one moonlit night riding by the loch.
Like she came out of the water, or he
He stumbled upon her sunbathing.
Nessie was crossing the road.
He said the creature had a long neck with a small eel-like head, 2 large oval eyes, and front flippers. It was 15 to 20 feet long with 2 webbed black flippers and 2 rounded ridges on its back. It was like a cross between a seal and a plesiosaur. He stopped and jumped off his motorcycle, and the critter rushed back into the loch. I feel like critter isn't used for things that are 15 to 20 feet. Because that then leads itself to, ooh, you're a big critter, aren't you?
A big, soft-footed, powerful critter. Yes.
With a lovely singing voice.
With a lovely
Yes. Next time I go to a concert, I'm gonna say that critter has a great singing voice.
Oh, we lost Rex.
Just keep reading. They'll come back eventually.
So, April 1934, Robert Wilson, a gynecologist and general surgeon, got a picture of Nessie, the picture of Nessie, dubbed the surgeon's photograph. The world-famous black and white photo that everyone knows, which is there. I don't know, that way, right there. Of a dinosaur popping its head out of the water. Seeing as how it's so popular, it might surprise some to know that this photo has been definitively labeled a hoax.
It's just some guy like this.
Some guy doing shadow puppets.
Yep.
It was a picture of a wooden toy submarine with a sculpted dinosaur head and neck attached to it. 2 brothers-in-law made the toy and sculpted the dinosaur, put up to it by their father and father-in-law, Marmaduke Weatherall.
Nice. Okay.
He was tired of being made fun of for the hippopotamus foot hoax.
Fucking Marmaduke strikes again.
So he made an even better one. Unfortunately, the guy who claimed to make the dinosaur sculpture came out in 1994 to say it was all a lie.
The world has known for quite some time.
So the summer of 1934, about the time the surgeon's photo was published in the papers, Bertram Mills and his traveling circus were on their way to Inverness. Or how did you Inverness? When they stopped at Loch Ness to rest and water the animals. Mills offered £20,000 to anyone who could catch Nessie. Historians, that is a lot of pounds.
How many pounds is that in today's pounds?
How many dollars is 20,000 pounds? 26,158 today. Or 2.6 million, depending on who you ask, apparently.
That is a lot. So historians believe this reward offer fueled a lot of interest in hunting for Nessie and why it's so cemented in lore. The circus stopping at Loch Ness also fuels the theory that the Loch Ness Monster was an elephant, as many people might not have been used to seeing an elephant swimming before. Also during what? You don't see an elephant trunk, right? I don't know. My phone disappeared.
Sure. That
Right
does
there.
look like an elephant trunk, but like
That one somewhere.
yeah, this one.
This one right here
That
still
one. The
looks
rest
like
of them don't.
Still looks like a whale penis to me.
Also that, yep, we did have that discussion, and it very much.
Mark's never gonna want to come back.
Hey, we
Oh
got
my god.
So, also during the summer of 1934, 20 people, each with binoculars and a camera, watched the loch from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 5 weeks straight, and were only able to get one photo of humps in the water.
Okay. So she was like, there's a lot of people. I don't want to come out. Go do your own thing. Go be your own people.
And then in 1951, Lachlan Stewart, a forest boy.
Forest boy? What is it?
That mean? Keep going. Let's see if it.
He's a critter. Spotted a long serpentine animal with 3 triangular humps in the loch. He was lucky enough to get one picture taken before the shutter on his camera jammed. Then he and his friend watched Nessie quickly swim away. Later, in 1984, a Loch Ness researcher was told the humps sticking out of the water were actually bales of hay rigged up by the forest boy to look like fins. So forest boy means he worked for the Forestry Service.
Oh.
Oh.
Not just some boy that lives in the forest.
That's what I was assuming.
So, starting in the 1950s and continuing up to present day, various fishing boats rigged with sonar have shown large objects keeping pace with them while they've sailed around Loch Ness. And that's it for now.
And if you want to hear the rest, I'll have to come back next week.
Next week, to hear episode 2.
Oh, Nessie! And we'll find out definitively. You'll find out right here if
It's a whale penis.
whale. Yeah. Because we will decide our opinion and we'll tell you.
Yes, we will.
Nice. So before we go, I got questions that I want to see if you can answer next week, and maybe it happened this week and I missed it.
Ooh, okay.
So, first of all, is this supposed to be a single animal this entire hundreds of years? This one? Is there any other ones in that same loch? Is it just one?
We don't
I don't
know.
know.
We don't know.
It sounds
could
plenty
be.
big enough. I mean, the loch sounds plenty big enough.
It could be a family. I know that I've recently, and I say recently in my lifetime, have read that there is a theory that there is a small family living in Loch Ness.
Yeah. Yep. And from the different descriptions, it does sound like different sizes.
Yes, I do.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, and also, we've talked about this in other Lake Monster episodes, but there's a theory that there are kind of underground, very deep underground, but passageways, tunnels, whatever, that connect, ocean to ocean. So some of these monsters that are also spotted out in the ocean, people think that they just, from living under there for so long, they know the route, and so they can pop up in other places. So you might be seeing a different lake monster when you think it's this one because of the area that it's in. That's another theory that we talked about.
They're not like me. They don't get lost like every time they go driving. That's they pop up and like, where am I?
What the hell? This isn't Loch
This
Ness.
isn't Grand Lake.
Is this Florida?
This is not Oklahoma.
There's just a plesiosaur swims up the Port of Catoosa.
Yep. They pop up in Oklahoma and they immediately get shot by rednecks and the whole thing's over.
Yep, and the end of
The end.
Yeah.
Lived for a couple thousand years, comes to Oklahoma and dies.
Oklahoma would ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yep.
Alright, thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
coming on. This
You're
was
welcome.
super fun.
And thank you, Leo, for your work in the chat and putting up with us. I appreciate you.
He does so much work for us.
Yeah.
He does.
He puts up with a lot.
The man
Mostly
behind
for
the
me.
We would not have a show if it was not for Leo. We wouldn't have a social media presence if it wasn't for Leo.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we did not do this before because we just threw you into the mix. But do you want to tell everybody who you are?
Sure. So my name is Mark, of course, and I specialize in hippo foot-shaped ashtrays. No, that's not true. Nope. I do. I have a company that we do design for laser owners. It's really a kind of a niche thing that most people don't know about, but that's what we do every day. We have a blast, and I almost pointed the wrong way. Yep. and Rex works. How long have you been with me now? I don't even know.
April was a year.
Okay. All right. Yeah. When I say it feels like longer, I mean that in a good way.
No,
Yeah.
it does though. It's
Yeah.
so weird to look around and think like, haven't I just
Yeah.
been here forever?
You know, and then some of my memories with the business, I think, oh, you were there, but you weren't.
Yep.
You know, that kind of,
Yep.
But yeah, so we design really fun things, really different things for people who own lasers, and we sell them a file that they can upload and then cut on their laser. So that's primarily what we do. We're getting into some other things here in the next couple months, which will be fun, kind of related stuff, but it's super nerdy, but we have a great time.
So it's fun.
Yeah, it really
I
is.
hear great things about it.
Well,
all
I
the
pay her to say nice things. So,
time.
so if you hear bad things, it's just because we had a rough week. Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, we're just getting ready. We're moving into a new location, which is kind of bittersweet, sort of. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's a lot
It's
of fun.
good to move up, but it's also sad to leave the property that we're on because we all really love it.
We really do. We really do. We don't have any of these around that I know of.
Yeah, maybe they're a baby. one.
Oklahoma has an octopus.
Yeah, did you know
A
that?
giant
Well,
octopus.
Not in the creek by our office. We don't.
You're right. Not in the
They
Greek
might.
Nope.
We
It's
do
dry-
have
it's
owls.
dry most of the time. We have some beavers. We have an owl.
2 owls.
2 owls. Yep.
A turtle. Big turtle that lives
Turtles.
in the creek.
Yep.
Oh,
we do.
wow.
Yep.
You
A
should-
bunch of squirrels, of course. They're dive bombing
Yeah.
us. Not dive bomb. They're dropping stuff on us constantly. Little jerks.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, most of the time. I almost got knocked out one day, but that's okay.
Yes.
Yes.
They're all sitting there going, here he comes.
Oh,
One,
seriously.
Oh,
two, three,
now.
big.
There's a tree. I forget what is that tree that's right
I
outside
think
the
it's
door.
a Bradford pear.
Is it?
Big pear.
Hmm.
And they're dropping little pears constantly, man. I mean, and our bathroom is right there under that tree.
You can't
It
avoid
sounds-
it.
I don't mean that we go under the tree.
We actually have bathrooms.
It's
I was going to
actually
ask to
indoor plumbing.
clarify.
We have indoor plumbing in Oklahoma, I promise. But it is
Lily and
it's
I-
taking your life in your hands every time you have to go out there to go to the bathroom somewhere. So yes.
You know the tree we're talking about, though. Lily and I actually met on the property.
Oh, okay.
Right near that tree.
Yeah.
Right near that tree. Yep.
Yep.
In the
Okay.
parking lot against the event center.
As I cried, hiding behind my car.
She was. I was leaving and I drive by and I just see, I don't know who she is. Like, I don't even know what her name is at this time. And I drive by and I just see this human like curled up on the ground and like she's pushed against the car and she's sobbing. And I was like, I can't leave her. So I
Next
get
thing
out.
I know,
And I
Nova
get
is
dog
in my
out and Nova's
face.
with me. We get out and we go over to her and I was like, hey. And she was like, hey. I was like, do you like dogs? Do you want a hug? And she was like, yep. So she petted Nova and I hugged her and then we were friends.
Yeah.
Wow. And nobody died under the pear tree.
Nobody died under the pear tree.
Yes. Yes.
Let's get out of there before that.
Right. Well, thank you for letting me hang out with you guys. And again,
Yes,
Leo,
thank
thank you, my
you.
friend. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming.
I've heard you have a face made for radio. That's why you're in the chat. So that's how guys say they love each other. That's how we do it. We're just mean to each other.
Just mean.
Yeah. I hate you. Yeah, you too. Right.
I'm just mean to Leo
best
for
friend,
no reason.
It's their love language.
It is. It absolutely is.
Before we let you go though, what's your favorite cryptid?
What's my favorite what?
What's your favorite cryptid?
Oh, I totally thought you said cricket. And I was like,
What's your favorite cricket?
I don't know. Jiminy is the only one I can think of. Well, for maybe not so obvious reasons to Lily, but it's got to be Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Yes, all of that.
Yeah.
In fact, Rex, have I showed you some of the pictures that we have of me doing the?
Yes.
Yeah. Every time my family and I, not every time, but a lot of times when we go camping, they'll have me do it. I do it completely on my own. but I'll run down the road and just do the the half walk across the. And they'll take. So we've got probably half a dozen pictures of me doing the frozen in the walk.
Going across the road.
It's pretty great.
Gosh, I love that.
It's pretty great. We've got some of me like behind some trees. We got. It's pretty awesome. So I'm trying all on my own to start some other mythology here in Oklahoma where people see this, all lanky, hairy thing. They're like, what is that? Yeah. So, yep, that's definitely my favorite for very personal reasons. Yep.
Oh, I love it.
I have to say, I'm sad that it's off the air now, but I loved watching Finding Bigfoot. Did you guys ever watch that?
I loved that show.
Oh my God,
so
it was so great. And my wife and I will still occasionally quote them. Do you remember like some of the guys on there? Well, Bobo is the only one we remember really well. And was our favorite, man. Because he would always say stuff like, and just random stuff like, well, I mean, as everybody knows, Sasquatch loves rock and roll.
As everybody knows.
Yeah, or they obviously. Yeah, male Sasquatch loves Oklahoma barbecue, obviously.
Yeah, clearly everybody knows that.
Yeah, and they always had that quote from the. There's that clip from the very beginning where there's one of them going, "There's something on the hill," and we'll say that just all the time. So we do miss it. It was a lot of fun.
Good.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So, Rex, you know me and Angie fairly well. Can you picture me and her waiting up I don't remember when it was on, but we'd watch it all the time. We'd just like, this is great. One of our favorite shows. It got kind of dumb toward the end, but it was still pretty
I
great.
never finished it. I've seen a bunch of episodes, but
It's
I never
pretty great.
Spoiler alert, they never found it.
They never found it.
Well, he's doing interviews now.
Yeah, he's on our podcast.
Yeah, talking about Nessie.
Well, that's two we've gotten. That's two. We just started asking our guests what their favorite cryptid is, and that's two for Bigfoot.
I was gonna say Bigfoot's hiding right in front of you doing interviews about Nessie to throw everybody off the scent. Stop asking about Bigfoot. Let's talk about Nessie.
Yeah. Bigfoot doesn't exist. Hush.
That's great. Well, thank you so
Mark,
much.
this
I
is
appreciate
fun.
you guys.
Thank you. It was so nice to finally meet you.
You too. Thank you very much. I'll see you. Where are you at? There you are. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye, Angie. Bye, Angie.
This has been the Morning Report.
The Morning Report.